Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
After preparing solutions you're scanning, transfer sufficient but not excess solution to your cuvettes.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Make sure the meniscus is not over the line on the cuvette. In order to confirm the spec has been zeroed, you will need to place a blank inside properly.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
In order to zero the spec, click the zero button in the upper left corner.
T minus
Using cuvette wipes, wipe two sides of the cuvette that are opposite each other to get rid of any particles that could affect your readings. Place the cuvette into the spec with the clean sides in the beam's path. Close the spec fully before scanning the sample. On the program, click Scan and label your sample in the computer and wait while your sample is scanning.
minus 7 seconds.
We scan across all wavelengths in order to determine the wavelength that absorbs the best, or the lambda max. The lambda max is the wavelength in the absorption spectrum where the absorbance is maximum. And because some chemicals may absorb UV light and would be clear to the naked eye, but can be measured by a UV wavelength. Record the absorbance of your sample in your lab notebook properly.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Here's an example data table. Once you're done scanning your sample, carefully remove the sample and close the spec door. When you have finished scanning and have recorded all your data, clean up your area and close out of the programs. Follow your TA's instructions on how to dispose of your materials.
Seatbelts, everyone! Please let this be a normal field trip with a friend? No way!
Beer-Lambert law is shown. You will need to use this to determine the concentration of your unknown. Absorbance is determined by how much light is absorbed by the solution and is measured by the spec to the concentration of the solution because the amount of molecules affects how much light is absorbed. Concentration is determined by the molarity of the solution, which is moles per liter. Failing to zero the machine with the blank would skew your readings because known particles would not be taken into account. Epsilon is the molar absorption coefficient, which is a property of the species and is how strongly a chemical species attenuates light at a given wavelength. L is the optical distance, which is the distance traveled in an optical system by light and is determined by the solution's container.